Starbucks in the US have decided to close 8,000 branches and to train 175,000 staff in unconscious bias, an estimated cost of $20 million to sales for Starbucks. So what is unconscious bias? Well, I'm an immigrant to Australia. I moved here about 14 years ago. As you can see, or you can hear my voice, I'm from the UK originally, and my skin is the same as the majority of the population here. But I saw race from a very different perspective when I moved here, because most of my friends are English. I live in areas where there's a high English content as well. And so if I had a different skin colour, then I would have been accused of ghettoising myself, not integrating, and living in my own little communities where I felt safe. So I can completely appreciate where people come from when they move countries. But when the rhetoric from government starts to be discriminatory, starts to be aggressive, and not tolerant and inclusive, then it's up to companies to actually then take the moral high ground. As in Australia they did with the same-sex marriage debate, companies may have to start delivering unconscious bias training for staff in order for arguments and tempers not to fray in public areas. If you hear somebody talking a different language, then you shouldn't get angry about that. Training is the only way. It's there to educate people, and as I said, when governments stop taking the moral high ground, then it's left to the companies to start doing that, and that's unfortunately where we are these days. So if you think there isn't anything such as unconscious bias, then just look around the board table, look around your leadership team in your companies. How many of them are women? That's an unconscious bias where male primogeniture takes priority, even in the workplace. And then look around and see whether the leadership team and the employees actually represent the company that your community works in. If not, then we might have to start setting targets. People say, oh, you shouldn't set targets for X number of people on the board to be this way or that. But if you're not actively going out to look for these people and just waiting for people to come to you, then yes, something does need to be done about it. Quotas do have to need to be set. Otherwise, change is not going to happen, and our way of thinking is not going to be challenged, and diversity is not going to bring better decision making to the board table.